Tropical update as of 7:45 a.m. October 7th, a tropical storm Jerry has formed from 95 L over the tropical central lake. As formed in LSC, we can show you the ASCAT for this. See, close LSC, tropical storm force winds. Um, what can I say? It shows 35 to 40 knot winds. Um, they went with 40 knots, so it's a tropical storm Jerry. Convection has increased, and the strongest wind on the eastern side. It's moving quickly westward at about 21 knots on the southwest side of a strong subtropical ridge. A turn to the west northwest with a gradual reduction in forward speed expected during the next couple of days as Jerry nears the southwestern edge of the ridge. This should bring the core near or to the north of the northern Leeward Island until late Thursday and Friday. Around that time, the models show a deep layer trough occupying over the western Atlantic, which should erode the ridge. In response to the pattern change, Jerry is forecast to turn northward over the west central Atlantic this weekend. Any track is a little faster than the model consists of 272 hours in vast agreement with ACCA and Google DeepMind neighborhood, which have been performing quite well so far this year. The environmental conditions appear favorable for the system to strengthen during the next couple of days, with the upper level winds very light, quiet water, abundant surrounding moisture. So they're forecasting 80 knots by 60 hours, and it remains so. Let's look at the data. Um, okay. First, we're going to look at the storm. Clearly, I mean, very little shear over it, very favorable environment, outflow in all directions, nice convection. I mean, this thing it's only going up. Um, Track wise, I mean, the models have been moving away from the leeward, so it's unlikely it actually impacts the leeward, but it will recurve similar to the Gable Allen track. GEFS, about the same. Intensity, I mean, odds are it becomes a hurricane. I think so too. But I think it probably becomes a cat 2, maybe, but maybe closer to 90, 95, and 96 to 120 hours, in my opinion. An impressive system. Um, here is the ECMWF enabler showing the same thing. You also have the bacon peaches system, which is still at 10%. It's extremely doubtful to form, but here you go. Longer term, we also have to watch off the Bahamas for another system moving northward. But that's 7, 8, 9, 10 days out, most likely. Well, let's look at the rest of the lake. Here's our system. Here's our Yucatan system moving over Yucatan. Well, now we're going to go into the Eastern Pacific. We have Priscilla. Look at that. What? That's a nice big eye. Let's look at the latest advisory for it. And they're being slow this morning. What can I say? It has 90 knot winds. I agree. It could approach major in the next 24 hours before it weakens. Um, it's moving northwest at 10 miles per hour. And Tropical Storm watches up for the Baja. It's likely to move northwestward for the next 2 days before moving northward and northeastward, weakening to a remnant low before it hits the Baja. There's the track. Probably a remnant low based on what they think. It could still be a depression. We'll have to see. And that's awfully far up the coast, most likely. Yeah, cat free is still possible. We can get that ring a little bit more solid. Then hurricane for at least 48 hours. Then talk will start for 72. Problem is, it's probably going to be a little low by the time it reaches the coast, most likely. Lastly, we have Octave, which we're still watching. 45 knot winds. Moving east, but expected to turn northeast pretty soon. Here it is, getting sheared. By a little bit of a burst. I don't expect much of a future with it. Yeah. Well, let's look at. There's one other system we've been watching. Has 40% in the next 2 days. 80% in the next 7. It is area thunderstorms increasing in coverage with a broad area of low pressure located a short distance away of Guatemala. Development conditions are expected to gradually become more favorable for development of this system over the next couple of days. The depression are likely to form. It's going to move west northward at 10 to 15 miles per hour. We can show you it. Here's its form on the GFS at 48, 72, 96, 991 millibars. CMC, definitely close to the coast. That's a bit of a low near Cuba, 102. There's 120. 989 hurricane, 114 on the GFS. 994 at 120. ECMWF. Yeah, and the ECMWF has it in the Gulf of California. Yeah, nothing on 144. Off the Baja 144. Yeah, I think the chance of this formation looks pretty good. I'd go with about 70, 7 days. Let's look at some malls for the land. Here's 36 hours. 72 hours, 984 for Jerry, approaching the islands. Here's 96 hours, recurring. Got a system north of the Bahamas, kind of. Let's look at 126. Oh wow, it's out the Carolinas. At 5 days. Could be interesting to watch. I'm gonna label that 20% because um, you have some neighbors forming it, especially the GEFS, and then you have your globals definitely hitting on it. And here's on the CMC. I mean, here's on the ECMWF. You got constant mod support between 5, 6, 7 days here. Yeah, so I'm gonna label 20 for this system. Um, let's go 168. Yeah, right off the Carolinas. 186. Well, that's your tropical update.